So in this video, I'm going to go over the 6 immigrant strategies of success. I'm here in Banias Square. Behind me, you're going to see lots of shops, lots of different businesses. And these businesses are owned by immigrants. Although, the country is the United Arab Emirates, most of these business owners are from South Asia, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. And let's jump right into these traits, these strategies they use to earn their success. Number 1, work is life. Number 2, frugality. Number 3, always seeking ways to increase income. Number 4, always seeking ways to become business owners. Number 5, teamwork. And number 6, taking advantage of each other. Let's jump right into it. So for most of these immigrants, work is life. The whole concept of their life is to work and earn money. And they'll spend crazy amounts of hours at their job. Anywhere from 12, 13, 14 hours. They're willing to work all day, every day, if need be. That concept of work-life balance, that concept of, there's more to your identity and to you and to life other than work, doesn't really exist for these guys. You might have seen my Dubai repair shop video. Those mechanics in those shops, all those guys working there, even the owner, they're at that shop basically 12 hours a day, more than 12 hours a day. And so the first concept, the principle, the ideas that these guys use for their success is they're willing to work. And that brings us to number 2, which is frugality. So while putting in those hours, what these people are doing is they're saving as much money as they can and trying to cut down their expenses as much as they can. And they'll do that by, if they're single men, they'll live together. You'll hear stories of families who will share homes together and pay down the mortgage quicker so they can become homeowners quicker. And they're not going to be spending money on big vacations and on things like that for the most part. And instead, they'll save that money. They're going to be frugal. And the next thing that they do is they seek to increase their income. So while they're working, while work is life, they're trying to figure out what work will pay off the most, what will give them the best reward. And that could be finding new jobs, finding better jobs. That could be increasing their certifications. Maybe they're an accountant, but they don't have their CPA, so they're gonna go get their CPA so they can earn more money. Maybe they're a mechanic, but they don't actually have registered as a journeyman, so they're gonna go get that journeyman certificate. So as they're seeking these ways to improve their income, oftentimes their goal is to become business owners. And so what they do with the money that they've saved when they're being frugal, they're gonna spend it on businesses. They're gonna try to buy their own franchise, start their own mechanic repair shop, start their own repairing business. And that's what they're gonna do. You'll notice a lot of A&Ws, a lot of gas stations. Why are these places being owned by people of color, by immigrants? Why are these shops here, all these shops? Why are these guys here and trying to open their own businesses? Because they want to become business owners. They understand the value of, one, the freedom that comes with owning your own business, even though it takes more effort. Remember, for these guys, work is life. They're willing to put in the effort. So they like the freedom, they like being in control, and they like the idea that eventually their business will be self-sustaining and it will create passive income. So intuitively, these guys already have an idea of these concepts that, in the West, we have to learn through reading books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and, watching Dave Ramsey. These guys already are intuitively know about these things and are working towards them. So being business owners, being hardworking, seeking to improve their income, they also generally help their communities grow. They use teamwork. So, you know, if I am of a certain kind of ethnicity, a certain kind of race, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and support, you know, people from my same ethnicity, my same race. I'm going to go to the other, you know, Punjabi mechanic if I'm Punjabi. I'm going to support, you know, another community member's restaurant. I'm going to support the, you know, the Jewish clothing store if I'm Jewish, and try to keep that money circulating within our communities. One of the biggest things that economists say about the African American community is that their money leaks out. It leaks out to Nike and you know, these other brand names and, you know, other things like that. The money doesn't end up staying inside their community, so it doesn't help everyone prosper. But along with teamwork, another thing that happens is these guys are able to take advantage of each other, because for them work is life. A lot of times if someone is a newer immigrant, or if someone, you know, is limited on opportunities, they will get hired by their similar community member, but at lower wages, because, you know, they're willing to work for lower wages. And it might balance out because they're working longer hours at the end of the day, but really there's like a little bit of an aspect of, you know, getting advantage taken of. You know, if you're a trucker, you might get paid less than, you know, industry rate. You might be running a little bit harder than those guys, but these people know how to take advantage of, you know, when they need to, and use leverage so that they can, you know, boost their own profits or boost their own gain. And of course, it's not zero sum. So those people who are getting taken advantage of are also benefiting, otherwise they wouldn't be doing it. But this is just another strategy that they use. So I've only gone over, you know, a couple of some of these traits, some of these strategies people use. And you might be wondering, where does education fall into this? Because there's a huge stereotype about, you know, immigrants and education. And so this video is more about first generation immigrants. So those guys that hopped on the plane, hopped on the boat and went somewhere else and had to start from kind of scratch. And what they usually do is they promote education for their children, because in their countries, education is the best, the most surefire way, or it used to be at least, for social mobility, for respect, for increasing your status. And so that's what they promote. And that's what they promote. So that's what they promote in their children. This is why you'll see a lot of high rates of, you know, Indian doctors and you know, Indian lawyers and things like that, engineers, because of this emphasis on education. But actually the first generation, a lot of them are those business owners, those franchise owners like I mentioned. And these are some of the strategies that they use. Now, of course, this isn't an end-all be-all, and not everyone is going to use these strategies, but these are good tricks, I think, that a lot of people might not know of, on how the South Asian community is able to boost themselves and you know, start creating wealth, start establishing themselves, and becoming higher income earners, even though they're new to a country and they're just getting established.